everyone. I'm just letting people in, setting up the live stream that we do on Facebook, and we will go ahead and get started at 12:30 for today's Lunch and Learn on Real Scout. So I'm gonna give everybody another couple of seconds to log in, get coffee, tea, water, and get situated for our class on Real Scout today. All right, it's 12:30, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley Gendreau. For those of you that don't know me, I do a lot of the tech bundle training, tech bundle onboarding here at Lair. So today, the portion of the tech bundle that we're gonna be going over is Real Scout. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So don't mind if I seem to be looking at a different screen because I have my camera on one screen and my Real Scout screen on another screen. This makes it easy for me so I can also see the chat if any questions or anything come in as well during the presentation. All right, so everyone can see my screen. So I am going to go ahead and show you from the start, from searching the Real Scout link to log in and how to log in and all of that stuff. So we're going to go over that. The first thing I do like to mention is that Real Scout has two separate versions of the mobile app. So there is one that is a consumer version and one that is a agent version. So the consumer version is going to have a white background with a black house. It's just going to say Real Scout home search. The agent version of the mobile app is going to be a black background with a white house, but it's also going to have a little banner that's blue and white that says Pro across the left top corner. And that's going to say, give me 1 second to see. So that's going to say Real Scout Pro. So if you download Real Scout and it says Real Scout Home Search, that's the client version, and you will not be able to log into that as an agent. You will need to log in on the agent app. So I do like to mention that there are those two differences for the mobile app. So you just type in Real Scout into your search engine, and then you're going to want to look for the Real Scout with the logo, click on it. And then once you click on it, it's going to bring you to this home page. You just click login. Now, when you click login, there's going to be two variations of the login screen. There's going to be the client login side and the agent login. You are signing in as an agent, so you want to make sure you click on agent login. Now, even though we selected agent, it's still going to give us the home buyer side, right? So with myself, if I was searching for a house, right, I couldn't set myself up as a client on my own Real Scout. I would just have to use a separate email that's not already associated with my agent account. So if I were a home buyer and I was logging in, I would say log in here, and then it's going to flip it to the agent side. So now that I am logging in as an agent, I'm going to click agent ? Log in here, and then it's going to log in. So that's the difference of the two logins when you get to the login page on Real Scout. So I have my username and password saved. You can have it saved or keep me logged in. I always have it, so I don't forget it. So then I just click login. Once you log into your Real Scout platform, it's gonna look very different the first time you log in. If you don't have any clients on Real Scout, your live feed is just gonna say Happy Agent 123. It's just giving you examples of what the live feed can show. That is perfectly okay. Your live feed, once you start adding clients, once they start engaging with their home searches, is gonna look a lot like this. We will be going through this. We will be breaking it all down. Over here on the left, you have your navigation panel or your controls for the website. Up here, you have a couple of different, links, different categories that you can use. I will be going through those. I will be going through the live feed. Any conversations and any recent notifications are all over here on the right. Now, before I get started diving deep into the nitty-gritty, you can engage clients with email alerts. So this is one way that you can set up a search for your client. Or if you already have a client in here, you can enhance your listing presentation. So if you are doing a CMA, you could always type in the address and you can see how the buyer demand can match the seller's price point or match where they hope to be for their listing. So once you enter an address, you enter the type of the property, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and the target price. It'll generate a report for you. So it's kind of like a quick report that they can get. Learn more about markets. So you can type in a zip code, a minimum price, and a maximum price, and you can view the market report. I go in depth in this a little later when I go over the market activity alert. And then the thing that I like about this is that Real Scout has two separate unique links that allow each agent to individually market their Real Scout platform. Now, are these links going to be the same? No. These links are unique to the agent's Real Scout platform. So for me, mine say ashleygendreau.realscout.com for the client search page. Now, I think I saw Ann Maselli on the call. So if Ann was doing this client search page and she wanted to copy the URL, her URL would be annmaselli.realscout.com. So yes, the .realscout.com is the same, but it's going to be the agent name at the beginning. The same thing for prospecting or to invite clients to create their own search, or for clients or potential clients to onboard. This is what they call an onboarding link. So again, it's going to be ashleygendreau.realscout.com/onboarding. So these are two separate links that you can use to self-generate leads. Now, if you set a client up on a search and they set up their own search, you can still see all of their activity because it's tied to your account. So you can still see all of their activity in your live feed. So that is those quick 4 buttons up top. How do we add a client? How do we set up a search? We're going to go over that, but I like to break it down. Over here on the left, as I mentioned earlier, you have your navigation tab. So you have your dashboard, you have your contacts. So let's say we enter a contact and a week goes by and they tell us that they want to expand their search area. How do we edit that contact? We can get into that once we add a contact and once we set up the initial search, but you would click the contacts tab and you would click on their name, and then you would go to the edit filters and it'll bring you back to the search criteria, but I will walk you through that once we add a client. Search, this will allow you to search for a property, set up a criteria, anything like that. So there are automations within Real Scout, and what I do like is this auto nurture feature that Real Scout has had for almost a year and a half now. And what it does is it will create drip campaigns for clients with relevant listings. So I have this enabled for all of my clients. You can disable it. You can enable it for certain clients if you want. If you have a client that says, hey, I don't like the auto nurture feature, can we disable it? You can disable it. So right now I have mine enabled. Your automation status is right here. So mine says enabled automation mode, all new contacts. You can disable it by clicking the disable button. Okay, so let's say I disable it, but I want to turn it back on. Easy as pie to turn it back on. You just click on turn on auto nurture. Now, if I want to change it so that not all new contacts get automation mode, click on update settings. And then it's gonna allow you to select only apply auto nurture to tagged contacts or apply auto nurture to all new contacts, and then automation status on or off. So you can always turn it on or off this way as well. And then once you do that, it's automatically gonna save it. So down here in the left bottom of the screen, there was a little green thing that said automation status changed. That just means that your change went through. Now, how do I know what email alerts to send, or how do I know what email alerts are sending? Real Scout came up with this great FAQ down below on the bottom of the page, where it will answer all of those questions on how it creates the drip campaigns for the auto nurture clients. So I love that feature, because even if in a market of low inventory, you still have buyers that are being active, they're still going to be getting houses, and they're still going to be getting top of mind emails from you with their search criteria. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. So auto nurture is great because, as I mentioned before, it sends out relevant listing alerts, home value alerts, market activity alerts to your contacts. It auto updates the alerts as well. So based upon the search criteria, it'll be updated based upon contact activity. So let's say you have a contact who's set up in here for 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, but they start looking at 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom properties. It's automatically going to update their alert that they're sent with 3 bed, 2 bath, 3 bed, 1 bath. That is only if you have the auto nurture feature enabled for your clients. The email drip campaign is that the auto nurture participants receive tailored email campaigns based on their alerts. So if they don't have any alerts created, you're going to want to create alerts for them. So that is the unique auto feature or auto nurture feature. There's listing alerts, home value alerts, market activity alerts, and then listing tools. So if you have a listing, what is nice is that in some states, the MLSs do not allow for reverse prospecting. New Hampshire is known to not offer reverse prospecting through the MLS. So if you have a listing, as the listing agent, your listing will show up right here. And then it's going to say claim as my listing. You click claim as my listing, and then it's going to drop it down to this section right here. So now what I can do is I can do view reverse prospecting, and it's going to give me a list of all of the agents who have had clients that have matched to this property. So if I scroll down, so let's do this one. So if I scroll down, reverse prospecting, oh, for sale and in contract. Okay, so because these listings are withdrawn and expired, it's not going to give me the agent name and all of the details about how many clients they have had matched to it. It will show that once this becomes an active listing again and I select it as my listing. So that is good to know, that if you do not have an active listing or it's a closed listing and you want to do reverse prospecting on another listing, it's not going to show on any previous listing. I'm going to go back to the dashboard and I am going to walk you through how to add a client. I am going to caveat, you can also have more than one license or MLS associated with Real Scout. So when I do the search, it's going to say cross MLS search. That's because I have more than one MLS associated with my Real Scout, which is fine. However, Real Scout does allow for you to search by school district or school boundary. So if you have a client that wants to search by school district or school boundary within one of the states that you're licensed in, you need to select that specific state. If you do not select a specific state's MLS, it's going to do a cross criteria search, and it's going to search all the MLSs, and it's just going to be more of a basic search. You're not going to get the more specialty search fields that Real Scout does offer. So I'm going to go ahead and click add contact. We're going to type in their email address. I always do their client's first name and last name. Their phone number is optional. The source, I put in the source tags. So Real Scout recently rolled out what they call tags. So a tag is just labeling if it's a buyer, a seller, a buyer and seller, or other. So if you have somebody who's an investor, you could label them as other. So right now, we're just going to tag Ashley as a buyer. There we go. So it'll highlight in blue which tag they are. So I'm going to go ahead and click create client. And then it's going to ask me what type of alert do I want to create. We're going to do a listing alert. So this is the data feed / property class. So this is where you would select which MLS you want. So I am going to select New Hampshire. So New Hampshire breaks out their MLS into different categories. Maine and Massachusetts MLS PIN, they clump it into one. But if you have somebody that wants to do a rental in New Hampshire, you have to select prime MLS / rental. Or if you have somebody who wants to look for multifamily in New Hampshire in Real Scout, you have to do prime MLS multifamily for it to search. But we're just going to do residential property. We're going to do customized listing alert. Once we click on the type of alert that we want, it's going to bring us to our criteria field. There are a couple of different ways that you can search. And what I mean by that is you can draw on the map. So let's say we have somebody who works in the center of Laconia, but they need to be within a 10-mile radius, right? We can do, there is a way that we can search by radius. So that would be draw a circle. You would click on the center of the circle and you would just draw it out. And the purple number where it says radius is how many miles you are going out. So we're going to go 10 miles out from the center of our circle. And then once you have your mile radius that you want, you let go and you release that the left mouse button and it'll create your shape. So now when we do our criteria, it's gonna search within this radius only because we did a radius. You could create your own circle if you wanted to, but let's say you want to delete this and you don't want to do the radius. That's fine. You would just click on the delete button right over here and click clear all, and it gets rid of that shape. If you wanted to create your own shape, you can certainly do that. So let's say we have a client who wants to be down here in southern New Hampshire. You would click on the polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, see how my square or my shape is not closed? Your fourth point or your last point needs to be connected to your first point to close the square. If you do not connect your last point to your first point, your square is not going to close and you're not going to be able to create a search within that search square that you've created. So now what we're going to do is we're going to search within just this square. So we are going to do active properties, the property type, condo, mobile home, single family, we're gonna do single family. And don't fret up here. Before we started putting criteria, this had 10,000 plus results. That is fine. As you enter criteria, the more criteria you enter, the less this number is gonna go down. So don't worry if you see 10,000 and then all of a sudden you see 3 or 150 or 200. It's just because you're searching or you're adding criteria based upon your client's search parameters. That's all that the results show. Architectural style, if you have somebody who wants a colonial or Gabriel, if they want a ranch, you can put that in here. Let's see, if they want a cape, you could put that in here. So there's different architectural styles that you can create, that you can select as well for this specific search. A minimum price and a maximum price. So for our search, we're just going to do 500. Our max, we will do 625. If you have somebody who wants to be in an HOA, you can do their minimum HOA fee and their maximum HOA fee that they're willing to pay. The fee frequency, again, your traditional criteria, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, right? So we'll do a minimum of 2. And now that we've entered more criteria, we have 17 results, which is fine. Because as I mentioned before, the more criteria you add, the more results, the more your number of matched results are gonna go down. And then if you have somebody who wants to have a specific lot size, you can enter that. Location you can enter. So if you didn't have a radius or a map drawn, you could do it by a city, you could do it by a county, you could do it by a condo association name, a development subdivision name, school boundary. Now, this school boundary and location boundary is only if you are in one MLS. So if you have more than one license with your Real Scout and you're just in the cross basic MLS search, you're not going to see the school fields because those are specific for individual MLSs and not the cross MLS search or the cross data feed search. Any specialty features that your clients want. So let's say you have somebody who wants to have, where did it go? A bathroom with a tub, right? You can select that if you wanted to. Or let's say you have somebody who wants to have, where is it? I just saw a feature that I was looking for. So let's say you have somebody who wants a first floor bedroom. You could select first floor bedroom. So now that we have features of accessibility and first floor bedroom, we have 3 results. So any other amenities that they wanted, you could do. So if you had somebody who was looking in an association, but they wanted to have, let's say they wanted to have a tennis court, you could go ahead and select that, right? Open house and photos. So you can select only homes with open houses, only homes with photos, or only homes with open houses this week to be displayed. I don't check any of those off. I leave those all unchecked. There's 2 different ways you can go once you create your search. You can save the search to a client, or you can view the result. I'm going to go ahead and save it to my client. So I'm going to click Save to Client. We're going to choose the contact. So it's Ashley. We're going to do the name search, Southern New Hampshire home search. The alert schedule. Handpicked means that their client's not going to be sent any emails. You're going to have to come in the morning, in the afternoon, and sometimes in the evening and see their matches and then send them any matches that they've been matched to manually. Daily means once a day, either in the AM or the PM, they'll be sent matches. I always select mine as ASAP. So anytime a new listing comes on, they're going to get notified as well. Monthly means just once a month, or disabled. If you disable it, they're not going to get matches, and you'll just have to come in and see the matches and send them to them. Send the matches to your clients. So I do ASAP. And then you have these additional settings down below. So what I do is you can have it send an open house reminder before each weekend. You can suppress natural language intros, or you can also send copy to myself. So I always check the box to send a copy to myself. And here's why. If I'm out on the road all day showing property and I can't get to my MLS until 6 o'clock at night, that's going to be a whole day's worth that I'm not going to know what houses my clients got matched to. But me enabling send copy to myself, I'm going to get a notification that's going to say alert for Ashley Gendreau home search, and it'll show me the house, the address, the details, pictures, and all of that stuff. And Ashley is going to get that same email. So once I create this search and we send these listings to Ashley, I can go into the email and I can show you what that email is going to look like and how Ashley can interact as a client within the Real Scout app. So in Real Scout, when a client views a home, it will allow them to like certain features, dislike certain features, and rate the property on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. And then they can also send you messages direct from in Real Scout. You as the listing agent can, if the listing agent's email is listed in Real Scout, you can send the listing agent an email directly from in Real Scout. You don't have to switch back and forth from MLS to your email, back to MLS, back to your email. You can do it all from right here, and I will show you. Any questions so far? Okay, so your subject here, so we are just gonna do your Southern New Hampshire home search. Hi, Ashley. Here are some listings that match your search. Right? So you can type your email and then you can click send now or do not send. If you click do not send, it's not going to send the listings. It will allow you to view them and send them manually, but we're going to go ahead and click do not send so I can show you how to send them manually. So let's review this, right? So once we click on a property address, it's going to give us the address, the details of the property, the price, the listing date, the listing MLS ID number. It's going to give us all of the photos. So if we want to see them all, we just click see all photos. It's going to break them down into a grid format, or we can click on them, make them bigger, and we can see them one by one. So those are the different ways. You can see the listing photos. So we're going to go ahead and go back. We're going to go back to the listing details. It's going to give us the property description. It's going to give us all the information that's in MLS and then some, right? And what I mean by then some is that it's also going to give us a map. And we can zoom in or out on the map so we can see relatively how close it is to the highway, to one of the major thoroughfares, right, where it is in relation to Manchester, or where it is in relation to Epping or Raymond, or for this specific property, because I believe this property is in Candia. So we can go ahead and see all of this information right here. Right, it's going to give us the directions, the property information, the building information, the exterior information, association information, expenses, utilities, all of that stuff that's in MLS is going to be in a much easier to read format for not only you, but your clients. You can view the listing as a homeowner. You can share it with clients direct from in here. So this listing agent has her name and her email. So if I wanted to, I could email her right from in here, and I could do subject line, show and request. And then I could put the address. I could say, hi, Wilma. I have a client that wants to see this property on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Please let me know if that time works for you and your sellers, if showings are assisted. And then I would send the message to the listing agent. It will send to the listing agent. She will get an email notification that she's received an email. She will also get a message notification within the Real Scout platform, within the messages section of Real Scout. So there's two ways that agents are notified of communications. It's also going to give you information about the nearby schools and what they rate, right? A common question is, can you tell me about the schools? I'm sorry, due to Fairhausen, I can't say anything on the schools, but there are some great resources on Google that you can use to search the schools, right? So if they are utilizing Real Scout, the nearby schools are going to be right here, and it's also going to show them where they got this data from. And if they wanted to search for a different area, they could just go to greatschools.org, right? So I just say Google has plenty of resources due to Fairhausen and due to other liabilities or other potential lawsuits. I cannot disclose anything about the school, the neighborhood, anything like that, anything about the demographics. If they want that information, they can go ahead and research it on their own. You're just telling them that there's resources on Google, which is perfectly fine because you're not divulging any information. And then the next thing you have is the listing history, your remarks. So if I had a remark saying, this house is great, but it might need a little more work than you're willing to put into it, I could save that note. And then once I send it to Ashley, she will see that note. It's also going to give them a client risk rating. So if you have somebody who's client conscientious, the risk of a drought, the storm risk, the temperature risk, the fire risk, the flood risk, right? It's going to give all of that right here. Again, it's going to vary day to day, town to town, property to property. It's also going to allow you to get a full report, or your clients can get a full report. It's a report that's 40 somewhat pages to I've seen a report as big as 90 pages before. It all depends on the property and the location of the property. So that's how you read the property within the agent side. So let's say we're going to send this one and we're going to send 12 Stony Brook to Ashley. You would check the properties and then you would say send. Now it's going to come up with a box. Do you want to send? Hi, Ashley. And then we would click send now. So now that we've sent 2 homes to Ashley, it's gonna show 1 house in the queue. It's gonna show 2 houses sent, and it's gonna show 0 in the trash. But let's say we know that 57 Blackstone is not what Ashley's looking for because of there's HOA fees, right? We can click on it and we can click the delete button. And then it's going to give us a little warning that it's going to move this property to the trash, which is fine. And now we have 0 in the queue, 2 in our sent folder, and 1 property in our trash. So now we're going to go to Ashley's email. And we're going to be able to see that Ashley sent Ashley 2 emails. So now we can do view details. It's gonna allow us to view the details as of the property as the consumer. So we scroll through the photos, right? We like it, but we're not sure yet, right? But we can go back, we can peruse through the property information, right? So everything that I just showed you on the agent side is here, except for the box allowing Ashley to contact the listing agent. Now, remember how I said earlier at the beginning of the call, the client is able to like certain features and certain amenities about the property. This is where they can do it. So if Ashley says that she's interested, it's going to give her a scale of 5 stars and how does it compare to other homes that she's seen. So we can rate it a 4, rate it a 4. We can also request a showing. We can like certain features. We can dislike certain features. Right? but then we can also like certain features about the house, right? Now, once Ashley's done going through all of this for all of her houses that she's been matched to, and we go back to our Real Scout dashboard, we're gonna be able to see all of this interaction that Ashley just did. So right here, it shows you Ashley opened this email subject. Ashley sent you 2 listings. Ashley is interested in 12 Stony Brook Road. And then it's gonna list what she likes and what she doesn't like about the property. Because one of my pet peeves as an agent with the MLS searches is, okay, great, Ashley liked a property. Ashley didn't like a property. Well, what didn't she like about that property? What did she like about that property, right? So without even having to pick up the phone and have a conversation with Ashley or text her, I already know right off the bat that she really loves this property. And she rated it a 4 out of 5 stars compared to other houses that she's seen within her search. So what I told my clients is that if they rate a property 3 or more stars, and they like 90 to 95% of the amenities and the features, if we haven't already talked about going to the showing or going to the open house, I'm gonna call them and say, hey, I saw on 12 Stony Brook, you liked 95% of the features, you rated it 4 out of 5 stars. When do you want to see it? Do you want to go to the open house, or do you want us to schedule a private showing to go and see it? So that way you're setting the expectation for your clients. Hey, this is a great way to stay off Zillow. It's a great way for you to interact with me and me to interact with you without me having to pick up the phone and constantly call you or constantly text you while you're at work, right? Because just like us, realtors work. We're always on the road showing property. Our clients work. We might have clients that work 3rd shift or 2nd shift, right? So this is a way for us to connect with our clients and knowing your clients as well, right? So those go hand in hand, connection and knowing your clients. So that is how you can read some of the live feed. So anytime you have a client who opens a property more than once, it'll say their 2nd time. The icons mean different things. So green circle with a thumbs up means that Ashley's liked the property. Orange circle with an open envelope means that they've opened the email. If it's a red circle with a closed envelope, they have not opened it. If it's a blue circle with an eye, it just means that they've viewed that property. Red circle with a thumbs down means that they're not interested or they don't like the property. So anytime a client opens a property more than once, it's always going to say, so right here, this was a 4th time for my client to view in that particular property. So anytime your clients interact within Real Scout, within the Real Scout search, it's gonna record their, I guess, their data, right? Or their interaction or their engagement. It's gonna record it so you can see all of that right within your live feed. So if I go back to the top now, and let's say Ashley wants a market activity alert for Bow, New Hampshire, great, we can create a new alert. And what this is going to show is it's going to show data that's just pulled from in Real Scout for a specific area. How many buyers and how many buyer interactions there have been over a specific period of time. This also is a heat index map, and I will explain why I call it that once I go through and get this set up. Now, if I use this for buyers, can I use it for sellers? Of course you can. So sometimes you might have a seller who wants to be up here on price, but your CMA and your market research shows here. Well, we know that sellers sometimes, still want the price that they think their house is worth, but this report right here as well will show them data from Real Scout. Again, this data is only pulled from Real Scout as to how many buyers there have been in their specific neighborhood, right? You could do you could do the entire town, or you could zoom in on a town and you could do a specific area. right? So we could clear the shape, and let's just say we want to do this area that includes this part of Bow Bog Road and 3A and Allen Road, right? And again, you have to connect it. So now, once we put in our maximum and our minimum price, it's just gonna search this square for us. So we're gonna do preview market activity alert. And it's gonna generate the map for us. So while the map generates, you can set this up so your client gets it on a bi-weekly basis, a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, or manual. So if you select manual, you're just gonna have to come in, run the report, and then send it to your client. So let's say we do manual. We name this market activity alert. We select the client. We're gonna send it to Ashley, right? And then we're gonna do save market alert to client. So now it's gonna tell us that we've created this alert, but we need to send it to Ashley. So the search or the time frame for the market activity alert is 365 days, 180 days, 90 days, 60 days, and 30 days. Now, it's only searching our search criteria that we created in this square. The reason why I called it the heat index map is because of these circles right here. So you see this blue right here, it had some popular property, but over here where it has the blue, the green, the red, the yellow, that was more populated. That property was more popular, right? Over here, we get the blue and the green and a little bit of yellow, but that just shows us where the popular properties were. Now, the further down this page we go, it's going to break it down a little bit. So on the week of March 3rd to March 19th, we can see within our specific square, within the town, we created, there was 23 active buyers between March 3rd and March 9th. Again, this does not take into account data that's pulled from MLS. This is just data from Real Scout. It's also going to show you the top viewed listings and where they were. So we can see this $600,000 house right here was 12 Stony Brook, right? And if we go up here, it's going to be this property right here. One of the other two properties were these, right? So we can see all of that information just by looking at the top viewed listings. Now, when it comes time to write in an offer for a buyer, how can we use this? We can use this to structure our offer differently, right? We can offer more earnest money. We can talk to the lender and see if they could do a 21-day close instead of a 30-day close, right? You could do a home inspection, right? So anything that was not considered a safety or health hazard that was above $2,500, we would come back for. If it's less than $2,500, unless deemed a safety or health hazard, we will come back to the seller, right? So you can do different stuff like that to negotiate your offer and make your offer terms more favorable for the sellers. And then it's going to give you anything that was recently sold. It's going to give you where the property was on the map. It's also going to give you the property, so you can click on it, you can see the photos, all of the MLS data of the property. And then it's also going to give you anything that was recently listed or anything that was updated for a market alert. So this was just for 90 days, but let's say we want to go back to 30 days. Okay, let's click on 30 days and see what it says, right? The data is going to be different because we're changing our time frame. So now we get 39 buyers and 65 buyer interactions within the last 30 days. And our graph changes as well. So let's go to March 21st. There was 8 active buyers. Excuse me. There was 8 active buyers within the last 30 days within our designated square that we created, right? It's also going to give us the top viewed listings and anything that was recently sold or anything that was recently listed within our search parameter for the last 30 days. So that's how you create a market activity alert. You can also create a home value alert. So this home value alert is just kind of like a quick estimate. Again, I would say if your clients are doing a quick estimate, just reach out to them and just say, hey, I saw that you did a quick estimate on your home. Do you want me to send you a CMA to get a better idea of your home value, right? Because the online home value estimates, they don't take into account the condition of the property, the area, stuff like that, right? So it's all of the visual stuff that doesn't go into those quick estimates online that you also need to account for. So let's say Ashley wants to update her price, right? So we would go into our contacts over on the left. We're gonna go find Ashley. We're gonna click on her. So we're gonna click on her name, and then we're gonna go ahead and click on the alert that we wanna change. So we don't wanna change the market activity alert. We wanna change the listing alert. So we're gonna click on the edit button. We're gonna click edit. Once we click edit, it's gonna bring us back to what we've sent before. We're gonna click on edit filters. We're gonna change the price. So let's say she wants her minimum price to be $525 now, right? So now we're gonna see if there's anything that matches. It looks like there's no new matches. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click save because we changed the we changed some of the search parameters. So now that we've changed it, it'll say if it did not result in any new matches or not. So if there were new matches, it would list them in the queue for us to review. So once new properties are in the queue, we can go ahead and review them. And one of our houses that we had sent was removed because it must have been below the 525 minimum price that we just updated for the criteria. So that's how you can change any criteria. So you would just go to contacts, you would click on which alert you wanted to change, and then you would just click the edit button and then the edit filters or view filters page. That is all I have for Real Scout. If you are a layer agent and you have questions on Real Scout, email Happy Agent, or if you want to book a one-on-one 30-minute training call, fill out the form at layerrealty.com/briefings. Thank you.